Hey guys, Chance here at Rocky Mountain, here to give you our first impression of the 2017 Beta 300RR. First, I want to give you a little history about Beta. They're an Italian company started back in 1904, so they've been doing this for a very long time. The last few decades, their main focus has been trials bikes, and they've done extremely well. With the success of trials bikes, they're now starting to make off-road dirt bikes. With these off-road dirt bikes, they've been extremely popular over in Europe, but they're now just making a presence in the United States. These bikes are primarily designed for gnarly enduro-type riding. And today I have the 2017 Beta 300RR, and I'm excited to ride it. I'm excited to see what she does. With this bike, it's a 300cc oil-injected two-stroke, and it comes with a lot of cool features. They come stock with a full FMF exhaust, they have built-in grab handles, and these bikes basically come street legal from the factory. And one of the best features they have is a push-button seat release. Now you can't beat that. Another cool feature that Beta offers is their BYOB program. This is not a bring your own beer, this is a build your own Beta. What Beta has done is they've teamed up with a few aftermarket companies, allowed us to purchase a bike online, select a few parts and accessories. They'll factory install these parts and then ship the bike to your local dealership. So we wanted to give this program a go. So we had a few parts installed on this Beta. We started with some Cycler handguards mounted on these Fast Flex handlebars. We've got a skid plate, slave cylinder guard, and we've put stiffer springs front and rear. So I'm really excited to ride this bike and see what she does.
Okay, we're here test riding the Beta 300RR, and first impressions is it's a great bike. I love the way it feels. The ergonomics are on point. Beta claims this bike weighs 224 pounds without fuel. I'm not sure how accurate that is, but it does feel pretty light. I'm able to turn it, maneuver it, and place exactly where I want. The bike feels light. It feels super narrow. It's narrow from tip of the radiator shrouds back to the rear fender. And that has part to do with the steel frame that they use. Using a steel frame, they're able to put a bigger 2.5 gallon fuel tank and still keep it pretty narrow. It's awesome for those longer rides. What's keeping me planted on the ground are some silver Excel rims, 21-inch front and an 18-inch rear. And I've got some Michelin Enduro tires on them. Those come stock from the factory. And they are a DOT approved tire. However, they don't last very long. We've got about 60 miles on this bike, and the tires are pretty worn out already, and none of those miles have been on the road. So we'll be having to replace those pretty soon. What's stopping me is a Nissan brake setup. The brakes feel great. They don't lock up super quick, but I'm able to stop this bike in any conditions. And we've also got a Brembo hydraulic clutch on this bike. For this off-road riding with all these rocks and slower technical terrain, that hydraulic clutch is a saver. It's awesome. While we're up in the handlebars, this bike comes basically street legal. Comes with a headlight, tail light, horn, DOT approved tires. There's just a few accessories you might need to add depending on the state you're in. And so it's got a control switch to control all of that. Another switch that comes on the handlebars is a map switch. This map switch is a great addition from the factory. It allows you to get traction in whatever condition you're riding. So whether you're riding dry air conditions like we are today, I can have it in the more aggressive setting, and it's awesome. If I were riding muddier conditions, I could throw it in the more mild setting, and that would retard the timing a little bit and help give me traction. So, the motor on this thing, it's amazing. A few key features. First off is that it comes with a 6-speed tranny, great for off-road riding. It's got an electric start with a backup kickstarter. It comes with a key-in carburetor mounted to it, going through some V-force reeds. The response is awesome. And a newer feature from Beta is the oil injection. They started putting it in their 2016 models, and this just makes riding a two-stroke that much more simple. It takes away the need to pre-mix gas. It's got a 650cc tank in the airbox compartment that you fill up, and that'll last a few tanks of gas. So when you pull up to the gas stop, you just need to gas and go. There's no needing to carry an extra gas tank just for premix. It's a great feature. Another feature that Beta has, as well as the KTM and the Huskies, it's got an adjustable power valve. And one complaint that a lot of Beta owners have at first is that the bike, for 300 two-stroke, it feels soft. There's not a lot of power, and it doesn't rev like it's supposed to. We pulled this bike out. I rode it a little bit with that, and it's true. It feels soft. It's great power for just maybe a weekend warrior, just a slow trail rider. But if you want to race it, it needs to be turned out. Once you turn that power valve screw out, the motor lightens up and it rips. It still keeps that low end grunt at the bottom, but then it rips. It reaches that power band so fast. As for suspension, the suspension that's coming on these bikes is the Sachs updated Gen 4 TFX fork matched with their Sachs shock. I've ridden the 2015 Beta 300RR, and I wasn't impressed with that suspension at all. The forks were harsh, yet they bottomed out on just about everything. And this was all stock, mind you. But this fork, with the revisions that it's gone through in the last few years, it feels great. With the BYOB program, the Build Your Own Beta program, we had them throw some stiffer springs in there from the factory. I'm a heavier set guy, and so we threw those in, but the valve ring remained stock, and it soaks up this terrain wonderfully. It's plush to the rocks. Even the larger loose rocks, it'll track straight through them. I'm able to hit some of these mountain bike jumps that are not really meant for dirt bikes. Does awesome with those. And I have not bottomed out the suspension yet. I've hit some things pretty hard. Haven't bottomed out yet, so far, I give them at least a B+. So who's this bike for? This bike could be for anyone. You could have it soft, easy to ride, and that could easily be for your weekend warriors, your just leisurely trail riders. But with an adjustment of the power valve and maybe a few clicks on the forks and shock, this bike can be for the racer. It's awesome. Oh, another thing with this motor, I've ridden a lot of 300 two-strokes in my days. I know there's not a ton of them, but I've ridden just about all of them. This is probably my favorite. My regular bike is a 2015 KTM 300 XCW, and that's a trail bike. However, that motor rips. It's a very aggressive motor. It's snappy. It wants to throw me off constantly. I love it. But the bottom end torque, the grunt of this 300 is awesome. I think it'll beat every 300 two-stroke out there in torque and low and grunt. I can ride anything in third gear and it pulls me right up it. So that's it. That's my first impression and review of the 2017 Beta 300 RR. It's a great bike for just about anyone. I believe it's more set towards weekend warriors, trail riders, and anyone who wants to do the gnarly stuff. It is awesome in this gnarly stuff. So, if you like this video, please subscribe to our YouTube page. And if you've got any comments, concerns, if you have a Beta, if you've done some modifications, please let us know. Next thing for us to do is take this back to our shop and see what else we can do to it to make it that much better. So please tell us if you've done your own Beta bike build. Give us some suggestions. I'm Chance at Rocky Mountain. Thank you.